Thaniyavarthanam. 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 Hello guys, it's Nona Prince and today we'll be talking about the 1987 Malayalam film Thaniyavarthanam, written by A.K. Lohita Das and directed by C.B. Malayil, starring Mammootty, Thalikan, Mukesh. So this was the second movie chosen by you in the polls, and oh my god, what a film, what a writing, outstanding. You know, when I get comments saying the 90s and 80s Malayalam films were the best, they were the golden period of Malayalam cinema, I never doubted it. But when I watch the movies, I'm just blown away. The writing is so advanced, so nuanced, and there's so much depth to it. This film is discussing topics and themes which we don't even explore today in our films. Mental health, superstition and its implications. You know how holding onto a lineage and our past and not letting it go, we're destroying our present and the future. In the name of customs and ritual practices. Not stopping to even think. Spending money on this even if you don't have it. Because the belief precedes the priority of having food, which is a basic requirement to live life. And when this happens, it always ends with destruction, which we see in this film. Man, A.K. Lohita Das, oh my god. A true genius. And this was his debut screenplay. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. He wrote Keridam 2 years later, which I've done a review to, you can check it out here, and which I said it's a complicated film. Very well written, but this is more complicated than that, and we'll discuss about it. Now, we watched this film on Discord with other viewers of the channel, so if you want to join us, link in the description. Now, the experience of watching this film was very different because there was not a good print available for this film. I think Airtel Extreme has a really good print but no subtitles, so there was just a really bad print available, which was a theater print, the ones which have, you know, shaky subtitles in English as well as in Arabic. So we watched that print, and what really happened is that the subtitles only appeared when something plot related detail was, you know, said in the dialogues. That's it. There were a lot of times in between where the characters are just talking and there were no subtitles at all. The frequency was every third dialogue will have a subtitle, or, you know, there's something to be explained, then they'll show it in subtitles. Otherwise, no. So I was really happy that I was watching it with other viewers, so, you know, I could pause and they could tell me what really happened in that scene. Now, of course, not the best way to watch a film, but honestly I really enjoyed it because pausing it, talking to others really helped me to understand the cultural aspects as well as discuss the movie with others. And this experience made me realize, you know, that you don't really need subtitles always to understand or determine if the film is good or not. Because even if I had watched it alone and could only get the subtitles after every 30 seconds, I would have still understand how good the film is, how well the acting is. Because, you know, I get comments on my videos where I say I had issues with the film and people reply, oh, it was the subtitles, if you had better subtitles you would have liked the film, so on and so forth. But I'm pretty sure the issues I have with the film, the subtitles cannot solve it, because those issues are regarding the film, the filmmaking, the acting. It's not about the dialogue which I missed or didn't understand or didn't get it. It's not that. It's the fundamental issues with those films. Coming to cinematography, really liked it. The lighting was very hard, giving us dark shadows, creating that stark contrast, you know, creating that haunting experience for us, because we're getting into the psyche of these people and the place, and that really adds the flavor to the film. The camera movement was really dynamic, really surprising actually. They even had some handheld shots. Now guys, if you're finding value in this video, do hit the like button, because when you do that, YouTube promotes this video and more people can watch it. Also consider subscribing and hit the bell icon to get notification whenever a new video drops. Coming to the story, the first 15 minutes brilliantly set up the whole film. It's like any other day in the life of these people, and we get introduced to them now, and through their actions and dialogues we understand what's really happening here. It doesn't feel like their life started just now. There are a lot of small scenes in the film which tell you how detailed the writing is. You know, Mammootty's character Gopalan is an art teacher, and the film shows, you know, the attitude people have about him, that he's an art teacher. Does he really do anything? You know, that stereotype that people who become art teachers really don't know anything, that's why they're doing art. And it already establishes that Gopal is someone different. He's not someone who follows the norms of the society, you know, to become an engineer or something like that. He's an odd one out in this case. Love that kite story he tells to the students. Now we see, you know, his sister is not getting married because they think the curse will follow her wherever she goes, and we see that struggle in the film. You know, it's not just used as a plot point in the film just for the sake of it, let's add to the narrative, that's it. No, it feels profound. You know, when the uncle dies, the next victim according to the curse is created by the family itself, because their beliefs are above everything else. It felt like as if they want Gopalan to get mad. They want this cycle to continue, and the society is always ready to help out, because it's not about care or concern, it's about their amazement, which is followed by fear. That's why these superstitions exist. Now the grandma character, we all hated it, we all wanted her to die as soon as possible. We were joking about it throughout. Now it's generally considered in a society, you know, the old are very wise people, we should learn from them, they will guide us using their own experience of life. But the important thing is that we filter out things according to the changing times, because here it feels like she's the mastermind behind all this, and you cannot really blame her, you know. That's what her whole life was, you know. That's a foundation. That's what she learned throughout her life. You cannot just ask her to abandon everything like this. And no one around Gopalan is helping. They're just making it worse, especially the family, because they're blinded by their own faith. That fear is making them repeat the cycle over and over again. Now look at the writing genius here. It is set up in the film that Gopalan is very sincere. He listens to his elders and respect them. Whereas the younger brother Gopinath, he's a rebel. He has a very different ideology. He's always fighting for it. He always tells Gopalan, let's just leave this, forget about our past, let's move on, just leave everything behind. But Gopalan favors on staying because he wants to respect the past, respect the elders, because they don't want to leave their homeland. But later in the film, when the same elders are trying their best to make him crazy, destroying his life in the name of faith, he loses it and he lashes out. And this is considered the result of his madness because he was never like that. He never raised his voice before. What a writing, man. What a writing. So complex, because you're setting up something in the beginning and that pays off by the end. There's a reason why it's like that, and it comes from the real life. In a society, whenever the younger generation rebel, talk back, or go against the orthodox rules, the elders consider it wild. They feel that our minds are corrupted by the Western influence. To have an individual perspective is looked down upon, and that's how much this film is rooted in reality. There's this heart-wrenching scene when Balan returns home after the treatment and the sister's marriage is getting fixed, but they haven't told them that she has a brother who's mad. So now he has to act like a neighbor so that she gets married off. Now even his wife and kids are taken away, and this is the time when you need their support the most. That's the best thing about the writing, is that it's gradual, it's organic. Things don't happen just for the sake of it. There's a reason behind everything that happens. That makes it more believable and convincing. I got some Shutter Island vibes at the end because I was in doubt. I couldn't really tell if he's really mad or he's just acting, just going with it. I became like the person around him, the society, who's doubting his sanity because of what has transpired before me. Because when he comes back home, right, and he goes to that same place where his uncle used to stay, he lifts his leg by himself, you know, to be chained by Thalikan. But Thalikan refuses it. And the climax with the mother was so painful. Now, I was not a big fan of showing a flashback, the mother feeding him as a child, because the whole film has been linear till now. We never saw this flashback before, so there was no need to add it. I get the point. You don't have to put it in my face to make me more emotional. And at the end, it's time for the son. And that's what the title means, right? Loop. The repetitive rhythm, and throughout the film we see that loop happening over and over again. Coming to the acting, the best thing was the realistic treatment. Mammootty as Gopalan was really good. The whole transformation was convincing, and you see the difference from the start to the end. There's this emotional connect with him, and because of that you feel what's happening with him. From this to Shylock, wow. Thilakan as the uncle was great, totally convinced, have no doubt about his actions. Mukesh as Gopinath, you know, he had that fire, had that aggressiveness to him, you know, being a rebel. I think later in the film when they have to get the sister married and that whole plot, I feel he got convinced really fast. I wish they had showed some more resistance from him as he's the rebel, and I think the whole cast was really good. You know, I have a sequel idea for this film, and I want Dulquer Salmaan for that, to play Mammootty's son in the story, and now he's mad, he's in asylum, and it's a very personal psychological story about him. I think that would be really great. What do you say? Let me know in the comments. So guys, that was the video. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up button, share this video, let me know in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos, and if you like them too, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.